Hey everybody. Today I would like to just bring up something that a lot of people tell their students to do, but nobody kind of gives a very good, efficient way to do it, and that is how to transcribe music. So I found a piece of music that I really liked for the next chop of the week, and I'm going to walk through how I am going to go about transcribing it because it's a really efficient process and it makes it very easy to uh, rip the notes and stuff out of the track. So the first thing that I do is I load the track into a project. So that's what I've done here. This is the recording by itself. I'll just play a little bit of it. Okay, so the place that it gets kind of tricky is when you just want to figure out what he's playing per bar. Right now, like I could try to figure out the tempo that he's playing with a metronome, but there's no real way for me to loop it. So if I just play with like the generic metronome in Logic, right now, like my default project is the default tempo is 114 BPM. I don't know why it's set to that. That's just I had some project that was at that tempo and I just saved that. The piano sound from that, I just saved that as my default template. Anyway, so what I like to do is I will load up a drum set and I will listen through the song and I will try to lay down a backbeat of some kind as such. I'm going to turn that off. Okay, so then let me fast forward right here to get to where I've actually finished that part. Okay, so I've finished laying down this hi-hat track, so to speak. Now what this is going to let me do, as you'll hear it, right, it's playing on the 2 and 4, and you'll notice just by looking at this grid right here, you'll see that it's not exactly perfectly lined up with it. So what we want to do is first we want to lock this. Let's see. First we lock this empty position. And then we go into global tracks, beat mapping. I'm not sure if you can do this in every DAW, but in Logic it's particularly easy to do it. And then I just do I do beats from region, and then the note value. Each of these notes are quarter notes. So we go like that. And now I've got a count off of sorts. Except right now, I should have said those are half notes actually. So now I can do beats from region and these become half notes. So now if I turn on the metronome, so now I've got a tempo track that's mapped to what this dude played because he didn't do it with a metronome. And now let's say I would just want to focus on like 4 bars or a 2 bar section. So now I can just figure out, I can go 2 bars at a time. Right? Next thing I do, now that I know what this tempo is like, I'll go like that. And then hopefully this is somewhat lined up. Turn on our click. So it's a little off at this point, but that's okay. I can go back. I can redo this knowing about this count off that I have. I can adjust this. Where does this dude start? Now that I know what the tempo is fairly close to, I could get rid of this. I could redo it. Let me start from bar 2. Oops. Okay, so now I've got this in here. I've got it redone. I've got my start time figured out. So now I can I can pull up the old, I can go to the lists, I can go to my tempo, and I can get rid of, let's see, I don't need any of this. Whoops. This is gonna let me select all of this. Yes. I can get rid of all that, get rid of this, and then now I can do that import trick again and do detect. Well, first I need to get rid of all of this. Okay. Now select that MIDI region again. Beats from region, half notes, and ta-da. So now I've got a little count off. So if I start that from bar 1, sorry. Okay, so now I've got every phrase in there. So now what I can do is I can just go I can go 1 or 2 bars at a time. So now I can just start tracking each part. And then I can figure out the left hand. Okay, so then now I've got, and then I just keep progressing through it. I think that's something like that. So I can just record that little, whoops, etc., 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 until I've got the whole thing done. I can just do 1 bar at a time, and then, you know, I've figured out every little phrase, and then at my leisure I can start to digest it and go through it really slow because I've got everything sequenced in MIDI. I can just pull up the region. Let's see, where is it? Move this. Let's move that. So I can I can go through. I can look at this in the notes. Obviously, these are going to be 8th notes if we look at it properly. So I can, once I get everything tracked, I can, I can go through and quantize them all to 8th notes, swing 8th notes, which would be 12s, like that. Now when I look in this, it's gonna be dumb. I go to score. Whoops. Go in here, quantize that. So we get, and it's not the most. It should really be that. Now I go into score, and I can just change this 16 and 12. Or I guess no, that should be 8, 12, because this is so fast. And now I can see it as just regular 8th notes. And I can get the whole solo down just like, 1 bar at a time. It's really easy to get through it this way because instead of having to deal with a tape recorder or with QuickTime, trying to move the playhead back and forth and whatnot, now I have it actually in a session that is mapped so I can focus on each bar 1 bar at a time until I have that bar correct. So that's a really quick, efficient way to transcribe. I don't know how to do it in other DAWs. I know how to do it in Logic. It takes, I would say, like when you're dragging in a new song and you're trying to work it out and it's not a song that's been done to a click, it'll probably take you about 10 to 15 minutes to lay down this template so you have the song set up so it is to a click, even if the click track is not, as you can see here, even if the click track varies a whole lot. But that's okay because it makes it really easy for you to study the song 1 bar at a time, which is the whole point of, breaking it down this way. All right, I hope you enjoyed that, and be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.